All right, what would a little planning be without some fraud brainstorming? Now, during the planning stage of an audit, every audit team, every single one, none of you are skipping out on this, you are required to have a fraud brainstorming session. Picture yourself in a room, you got your staff accountants, your seniors, your managers, partners, and you're just thinking, all right, based on what we know about the entity, based on the industry, based on this particular year, what are some areas that fraud could be perpetrated through? A fraud brainstorming session is conducted to assess the potential for material misstatement due to fraud, which includes discussing the three fraud risk factors, right? Why would someone commit fraud? I personally don't know. I mean, that's ridiculous. Fraud is just wrong. The audit documentation must include a description of this discussion. That's pretty important. Always keeping in mind what engagement are we in and what stage are we in. Obviously, this brainstorming session happens during the planning stage. Multiple choice questions will always try to mess you up, tricking you into thinking you're in a different stage of the audit. Documentation must include any significant decisions reached, how and when the discussion occurred, and the audit team members who participated in the session. Good old accountability, making sure we are documenting what happened throughout this whole process. During every stage of the audit, the auditor should consider the assessment of the risk of material misstatement. We'll see this a lot in the audit risk section, and this is just something during every stage, right? We've got overall review stage, planning stage, assessing these different stages, right? Generally speaking, you've got planning, then risk assessment, testing. All before that, you've got engagement acceptance. Then you have an overall review stage. Then you're going to issue a report and an opinion. Just keeping in mind what stage are we in and what are we doing in each of those stages. During the overall review stage of the audit, the auditor should consider whether the results of any of the audit procedures affect the risk of material misstatement due to fraud. These are just straight points that would just come from multiple choice questions, right? During what stage would the auditor do this, or what would the auditor do during this stage? Either way they could ask it, I would be quite familiar with these points. Lastly, if risk factors are identified at any point during the audit, those risk factors should be documented in the working papers. When in doubt, put it on paper, document it, you'll be good to go.
Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.